Hi, loves, and welcome back if you're a returning guest. Today for my sharing, I will share about when I was, um, one of the times when I was held up at gunpoint. And this is a true testimony because, yeah. So let me just get into it. Okay, so it was nighttime, but it wasn't really late. It could have been maybe like 8 or 9 or something. And I was walking to meet my cousin. I was in Wisconsin. And I was walking to meet my cousin. She lived 5 blocks away from me. And so as we were walking to try to meet with one another, like coming from opposite directions, there I saw two guys that were walking, and they were up ahead of me. And so they saw me coming, and I'm just unsuspecting, just walking down the street. And so then actually I think they were on the opposite side of the street, and then they crossed over to the side that I was on, but I didn't think anything of it, and it's dark, so I couldn't really see. And it looked like they went up to a house to like knock on the door or go in the house. It was a door on the side of the street where I was at, so it looked like they had went in the house, but they didn't. They actually stooped down underneath the bushes that was right there. And so as I walked up, they jumped out and they had a gun. And so right as I walked past them. Okay, wait. So I walked past. They went, I think they came and got in the bushes as I was like talking to my cousin. And then they came and got in the bushes. And then so they jumped up, and they, as we were walking, I feel somebody grab. I had one of them little string bags on. I don't know what they're called, but those little bags that had little strings on it. And so I had one of those on. And so I feel somebody like grab my bag, and I hear like, give me all your stuff, or give me all your money, or something like that. And I'm like, what? And so we turn around, and they jumped out of the bushes. So they waited till because I walked down to the corner to get her, and then we turned around, and then as we were turning around, they jumped out of the bushes after we turned around or whatnot. So then they were like, they had a gun, and they were like holding us up. They were like, give me all your money, give me all your stuff, or whatever. They unfortunately picked the wrong people to rob, because we didn't have anything. We were young. We were like, I don't know, we were late teen. So probably like 19, 18, something like that. And so, they kept trying to grab my bag. Like they kept trying to pull my bag off, and they were like, give me your bag, give me your bag. Now I'm not realizing. Now at first I thought, oh my gosh, we're getting robbed. But then I thought, oh, they're playing, because my cousin was drunk, and she had been smoking some green, so she was under the influence. So when she turned around, she's like laughing. She's like, get out of here with that bull, da, da, da. So she's laughing, and she's talking to them. Every time they like grab her bag or something, she's like pushing their hand. I'm like, get away from me, get out of here with that, da, 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 blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, so she know them, so they just playing, you know what I'm saying? So the whole time they're saying, give me your bag, and they're trying to pull on my bag. So I'm like, I'm kind of confused, because I'm like, okay, she know them. Well, then they're like, give me your bag, or I'm gonna shoot you. Well, by the grace of God, they were. So the whole time I'm still not knowing that they're serious, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I'm thinking she knows them, because she does talk to everybody like that. So I just didn't put it together. So they are like, they're like, go ahead and just pop her. So as soon as they say that, I look up, and I notice that there is a police on the next block, and you can see the lights of the police going around on the block. Now I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I don't know what happened, but I know that like one of the guys was like, he was like, shoot her, just pop her, man, just pop her. And then the other guy was like, nah, man, the police right down there on the next block. And you could see the lights. You could literally see the police car down the alley from where we were standing at. And so by the grace of God, that police car was there, because the whole time, like I said, I'm not even knowing that this is like, I'm like, okay, we getting robbed. Then I'm like, okay, we not getting robbed. Okay, we get, like, I don't know. So by the grace of God, the police were there, and they were like, man, just forget it. And so they jumped back in the bushes because they saw somebody else walking. I think that it was a person walking by themselves or something. So they saw somebody else. And so my cousin is still like, man, get out of here with that weak bull, blah, blah, blah. She just talking all kinds of smack and everything. And I'm like, so we walked home, and we walked the 5 blocks back to where I was, which was at family's house. So I was meeting her. Our family stayed 5 blocks away from each other. So we walked to the house, and we get in the house, and she just bust out crying. She's like, oh my gosh, we almost died, we almost got robbed, we almost got shot. And I'm like, what? Like, hold on a second. You didn't know them? Like, I thought you knew them. I thought they were playing. She was like, no. So she's like crying hysterically, and I'm like, oh my God, wow. Like, what? We literally almost got shot if it was not the grace of God that had that police on the other side of the street. I didn't even know. I'm thinking it's a whole joke and everything. So technically, like, we could have been out of there. And so, yeah, the grace of God that kept me once again, and kept my cousin, thankfully. And yeah, so it was pretty scary, because like it was scary, but it wasn't, because it was almost like surreal. It was like, okay, is this happening? Okay, no, it's not happening. Okay, like, so it was like I was just so confused. And at the time, you know, I might have used to, I think I used to smoke weed at the time too, so I probably was, you know, under the influence as well, and didn't really put it together. And I used to drink and stuff, so well, ain't no and stuff, that's all I did was smoke and drink sometimes. But yeah, so I'm just so grateful that the Lord had that police car there, because had it not been there, they possibly might have shot and, you know, could have possibly injured or even killed us, and we didn't even have nothing. I think I had, maybe at the time, I had a food stamp card with a little bit of money on there, and I might have had a couple dollars, $10-$20 or something in my bag. Might not even had that. I don't even remember, because it's been so long ago. But I just remember thinking, like, dude, we literally could have lost our lives over nothing, because even if I would have had $20, like, what is that? You know? So yeah, I just always I'm always grateful, and that's my testimony for today, is that, you know, the Lord saved us from our meeting our fate early again. And yes, I was, at the time I was out there, you know, in sin. I was doing all kinds of things. And so this is like most of these stories are from that time when I was in my 18, 19, 20, 21 era. And I was just out there bad, doing a lot of different things. And so I'm grateful that the Lord saw that, like, one of these days you're going to get it together, and you're going to get from out of these streets, and you're going to stop doing all this. And that's what that was the environment I was raised in. And so it was like, to me, it was like I was groomed to basically fall into a lot of these things that I encountered. But yeah, so God is good as always. And yeah, I'm just grateful that he had everything aligned. He already knew what was coming. He already knew. I'm not even paying attention, not even thinking, because I was so used to being out in the street, just walking. And, you know, it wasn't even late. I think it was like 8 something. And so it wasn't that late. And I was so used to being outside walking that I had to walk everywhere. I didn't have a car at the time. I caught the city bus, and I would be out at 2, 3 in the morning, 1 in the morning, you know, just hanging out, doing stuff. And so I had never had that happen until then. And so I wasn't thinking that it would be anything serious. But anyway, like I said, by the grace of God, it was serious. By the grace of God, he had the police officers there, and I don't know what was happening down the street, but you could see the lights, and thankfully we could see the lights, and thankfully the other guy was like, nah, man, the police on the next block. And, you know, the Lord saved us again. So yeah, that's my testimony for today. I'm trying to come back and think of all these other ones, and I'll be back with another one soon. Thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and come back to hear more of my life stories, the craziness. I haven't even got to the other stuff I want to talk about, like flight attendant stuff and all that, because like just telling these is just, you know, and then it's hot and I'm out here in my car again. So yeah, but anyway, thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and come back to hear more videos. All right, thanks. Bye, loves.